rate your competences.
Who the hell do you think you are?
I see you, I don't
Can you
see
do what you're supposed to do?
Everything is okay. It's okay.
And if you are angry, then you are the crazy one.
Give and take.
I don't exist.
For real.
Welcome to For Real episode 23. This is a podcast on human dignity recorded on the 8th of May 2025 at Frascati in Amsterdam. We got together with 80 people to look into what it means to matter. Our guests go through a 2-hour experience in which they listen to pre-recorded interviews about the intellectual undermining of women. The music is made by George Dumitriou on viola and guitar, Sarah Jeffrey on recorders and voice, and myself on harp. My name is Andrea Voets, and here at Resonate Productions we make musical journalism by combining social journalism with lots of original music. During 4 moments within For Real, the audience is invited to be interviewed by one of the musicians. And in this podcast you hear those conversations exactly as they took place.
Hi, welcome. Thank you for being the first.
Of course.
I'll introduce myself first. I'm Sarah. I was born in 1985 in Liverpool, in England. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Sarah as well.
Oh,
yeah, so
hi, Sarah.
that's a coincidence.
Yeah.
I was born in Amsterdam. Utrecht. Sorry, I live in Amsterdam, but I was born in Utrecht. 1996.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which of these questions would you like to talk about?
When did you feel that you were not taken seriously?
Yeah.
I think that was a moment. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, it's going on. I was working at a company a few years back, and I was quite young at the time. I think I was about 23, 24, and I grew quite fast within that company, and I eventually became a head of marketing at a younger age. And at that time, I really struggled being, taken seriously, partly because of my age, but I also really because of being a woman, a very young woman in a male-dominated environment. So I was the youngest woman on the management team, the only woman also on the management team, and then also the youngest. So that was really a moment in my career where I felt not taken seriously, even though I was working very hard and trying to prove myself.
And how did that manifest itself among your colleagues?
Among my colleagues, So, I got comments quite often. I remember one time someone that we worked with said about me behind my back, okay, she looks nice and all, but what does she know? So that was I think one of the comments I really remembered. And also actually another time, also a colleague of ours asked to the CEO who I was working with very directly, and we were at having drinks after work, and one of the colleagues asked very directly to the CEO while he was sitting next to me, okay, but what does she earn?
Wow. How did the CEO respond?
He was I was kind of disappointed with him in that moment, because we were working very closely together, and he really believes in me and gave me this position as well. And he didn't confront him at that time, saying, okay, this is not a question you should ask. This is not an okay question.
Yeah.
He didn't come up for me. He was just laughing about it a bit, and
Yeah.
So
he didn't shut it down straight away and say, "Hey,
exactly.
what's going?" Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you have, say these comments are happening, what would you hope from your environment that they would do for you?
Yeah, so like in a case of a CEO, if I would be the CEO in that case, I would really come up for, of course, someone who you put in that position. You know, you're going to defend that person in that moment. But also not only as a CEO, but I think also other people. If you're around a situation like that, you should speak up. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And my last question: do you feel like that's something you're able to do now if you see people coming into the job 10 years after you? And do you feel like anything's changed?
Well, I started my own company now, so I luckily don't have to deal with that anymore. I don't deal with that anymore now. So I luckily I don't come in those situations anymore. But yeah, if I were again, you know, I would never. Would pick up. Yeah.
With your own company now, you can set an example for
Exactly,
the people coming after.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you, Sarah. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Of course.
Welcome.
Hello, Juan Andres. I'm from Caracas, and I was born in 1996.
Nice to meet you, Andreas. Is there a question that you would like to answer out of these four?
Well, do you resonate with something that has been said? And I felt I resonated with the thing about prototypes, you know? And for example, I've always had like this male prototype that you should be like, I don't know, 6 feet tall, you know, blue eyes, everything. And I also have been leading marketing teams since very early in my career and leading tables from very early on. And I was always amazed at how being so young and like tiny and stuff, I was able to do that. And now here, for example, I have a roommate that's like more than 6 feet tall, and he's 45 years old. And I'm like, how will I be able to lead something here with that in the game, you know? But that's like something that shouldn't stop me, you know? It hasn't stopped me before. Why would it be? Why would I let it stop me now, you know? That's it.
And do you feel like it would be something that would stop you? Or like, do you feel like it's actually a fact, this thing about the prototypes? That it's really like that? It affects the way we function together?
I do think it affects the world, but I do believe it's up to me if I'm going to let it stop it, you know? And I need to stand up for that and just be confident about it, or just fake it, but do it.
Yeah, totally agree with that. Yeah, definitely. And what would be a first step to overcome that?
Just do it. Like, just do it. Like, stand up and just do it, you know? Even if you're super afraid, like, just go for it.
Thank you, Andreas.
Hello.
Hey.
Would you like to give us your name and place of birth and year of birth?
Yes, my name is Raquel van Haver, born in 89 in Bogota, Colombia.
Hi, Raquel.
Hi.
Which is going to be your question?
Actually, do you resonate with something that has been said? And I think the last thing she said was our presence or like not being there is unnoticed.
Our absence is
that was it,
unnoticed.
yes. And myself, I'm an artist. Actually, I call myself more like a storyteller. And what I've learned is exactly that. The moment when you don't speak up, the moment when you keep silent, the moment when you just look away, that's the moment actually you're the most loud, right? So even not being there, right? There's also another way to look at it, like, so where will you be? Where will be the others? So it's like a they thing. Like, can we have another resolution for not being there? Where will we be? So you have to shift the idea of being someplace. Just like move the table, like the seat on the table. That's actually like what I'm talking about, right? So if there's no seat for you there, just build your own table, a bigger table, and more chairs, right? So it's really like about shifting the narrative. Like once I was sitting down with this curator from this museum, we just had a beautiful artist talk, and all these grand artists came outside for a drink. And there were 2 tables. And me and this curator were sitting on the other table, and everybody was just sitting at this big table with their drinks.
How many people were on the other table?
25 or something. It was like a big group. And most of them I really was like so impressed about. I was like very young, and I was like, oh my God, I want to be with them. And he was like, no, Raquel. Just sit. It will come. Your time will come. It will come. Let's order a drink. So me and him were just chatting, having a good laugh, and people actually came to our table because we had so much fun. So in the end, 2 people stayed at that table and the whole group moved to our table, right? So it's really just a matter of like, okay, do you lose yourself in not being there, just willing to be so much at that particular space, at that particular time with those people? Why would you put yourself in that situation while you have so many other good people to be with?
So you have so many good people to be with.
Yes.
That's such a beautiful way of putting it, Raquel. And after that moment that you saw slowly everybody moving over to your table, did you have more moments after that that you still wanted to join another table? Or was that really a sort of a turning?
It was an eye-opener, I think, that time, yeah. I think. So now I think I have more patience now too.
Hey.
Yes.
Have you told the curator that was an important moment?
He knows.
Was it he knows?
He knows, yes.
How did he react?
He just started to laugh.
Why? Why
No,
do you think
because
he
he knew I was like really impatient, and he knew I wanted to go fast. And he was just like, no. He's like way older than me. He's like, so I really very much respect him. He knows that like, let's just sit here and it will come. And he could just tell by just experience all of this, I actually also got more ease.
And also by understanding you.
Yes.
He saw through you.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling us
Thank you
this.
so much.
Thank you.
Would anyone else like to join? I see someone already. Hi.
Hi.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Kristina. was born in 1979 in Moscow, and I'm a cultural programmer and a project leader. And I would like to say something about the first question.
What
responsibilities
lie on your shoulders? Yeah.
Well, I'm born in Moscow, so I'm Russian, and there is a war, and I'm on the bad side, right? Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Sorry, that's a huge question. How do you feel about that?
It's terrible. It's like everything that everything that I've actually loved and admired so much actually broke down and kind of shattered. And then you have to kind of build up again your identity.
Do you feel like when you meet people who you don't know already, is that a thing in your mind? How do I introduce myself? How do I address the topic? Is that something that's present for you?
Yes, and I think that it's very important to talk about these things, and I think it's very important to make topics, identities, conflicts, wars, bad stuff, to speak up and to discuss things, but it's not always possible because sometimes people are just too hurt to just deal with you, you know? Even if you are like, I think Russia is really, really a terrorist state at the moment, and I really think that that it's bad behavior. It's bad. It's imperialistic. It's everything. But sometimes it's really difficult to see Ukrainians also, because before it's people talked with you, but now they're not because you're Russian.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's a responsibility that you feel on your shoulders. That's heavy.
Well, it's not a responsibility that people from Ukraine don't want to talk to me. I understand that, but it's like more like how can we as Russians progress and make it more.
Yeah. How can we progress? That's really important. Have you found anything that works?
I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm working on it.
I have the feeling that if you find something that works, that could help in a lot of situations. Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I don't know.
Great. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
My name is Adi. I am from India, and I was born in 1996.
Hi, my name is Alydia. I was born in 1974 in Oranjestad, Aruba.
And what would be your preference? Would you like to interview me, or would you like to be interviewed tonight?
I don't mind. I would like to interview you. You can interview me if you want to. I don't know. What do you prefer?
I think it's good to not have fixed roles. We can just have a conversation.
Yes.
Right.
I like that too.
Yeah.
First, can I have a glass of water? Do you want a glass of water?
Yes, please. Thank you.
Salute.
Salute. Is it okay if I start?
Yes, please do.
I'll just go over the things that I was thinking about because do I resonate with something that has been said so much tonight? And the last section ended with this idea of I am entitled to half. And I was trying to think of situations where, have you been in the room where you were happily given more than the half? Hey, there's so much, come, you know? Also, I was thinking about this idea of giving, because the people out there who are giving more than half or making space at the table, they're labeled idiots. They're labeled stupid, they're labeled not career-oriented, they're labeled, oh, you're thinking too much about other people. I don't know, so much to think about tonight. And I wasn't necessarily thinking about my mother tonight, but my grandma, because she is the one who raised me. And I don't think she ever thought of herself anything other than a caretaker. So, if you have thoughts that you had tonight, would love to also
That was
hear.
one of the questions I wanted to ask you, actually, about what would you like to say to your mother, but in this case, your grandmother. Is she still alive, may I ask?
I would tell her that I think of her often. She's not around anymore.
Okay.
And that she made me who I am. But I wish that she got so much more in her life for herself, and that she didn't live almost every hour for others. I think even when she was not around people, she was probably thinking about others all the time. So I wonder who sometimes my grandmother could have been, even if in her mind she was, I only saw her taking care of herself every 2 weeks. She would sit in the sun and sort of put mustard oil all over her body and really wash her hair. And that was sort of the one day that, for a few hours you could not disturb her.
And that's something you have seen, you've experienced with her.
Mm-hmm.
And how would you feel when you see that your grandma would take time for herself? As being a woman.
That I do not know, I have to say, because I am a man.
Do you think so? Because you're a man, you don't think that you maybe thought something, you felt something? Were you happy for her?
I think there was just a lot of pain in my grandma's life, and I'm not sure if she lived a happy life towards the end. So it's but I do have this very beautiful image of her in the sun, and she had really long hair. So I guess I have this appreciation of this beautiful image in which perhaps she didn't have a role for someone else, that she was doing her own hair, and that she was massaging her body and moisturizing every square inch of her skin. But yes, it's an image that I often think about.
Can I say something to you? When you say that, when you're explaining about your grandma, I think of my grandma too, but I even think of myself. I'm a mother of 2 boys. One is 19, one is 14. And we came to the Netherlands 2018. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, 50 years old, and I always wanted to do art, to create. I was brought up by my mother, who is also a dancer, my sister. We are a family of dancers, artists, performers. And a lot tonight has really resonated with me because we live in a society that, I'm not only saying where I come from, Aruba, but the whole world. We are all connected in a sense of, because of the system, because of education, because of upbringing, because of religion, and also family matters, family, generations of families. But my point is that since I was very young, I decided that I wanted to be a dancer or be an artist, be a performer. And when I became 18, I had my first boyfriend, and I got pregnant. And I decided, I was very strict on myself. I was like, I'm not done with school. I cannot have a child right now. So I decided for myself not to have that child, because I know I'm still a child myself. I was 18 and I had dreams. I had visions. I was like, I need to go study. I need to go move. I need to do things. I need to move, So I had an abortion. It was very painful. It was very difficult. I forgave myself for that abortion. I was taken very seriously by the father, but I was very strong in my decision. And after all these years, now that I'm a little bit older, and I do have 2 boys now, and I'm here in the Netherlands right now, living and creating my work, performing, doing what I love, and still being a mother of 2 children, and being 50 years old now. And I have to tell you that I'm really, really proud of myself that I took that step, and that I've decided for myself to be this woman, this person, this energy that's sitting here, because I was brought up by my mother, by my grandmother also, and I'm very, very thankful to them. And that is what I would like to tell them. I always do. Because of them, I'm this person right now. Because of them, I'm always thanking them for who they are, were, are, and I say that, or not I say, but I encourage women to do that. Look back, look to the generations before you, to your mother, your grandmother, the women before you. Praise them, take care of that, because you will feel it, you will know. And it doesn't matter if you're a woman or a man. Do that always, because they took care of you, Yeah.
Could I ask you, what are some of the ways in which your mom or your grandma taught you to be proud of yourself?
They always taught me to be who I felt I had to be, in the sense of taking care of myself, but also with respect, with love, a lot of love, but also be very grounded, be who you are, and have respect for yourself and for others. And what I've learned also from that was that to support each other, take care of each other, not only families, kids, families, but women in general. Support each other, love each other, take care of each other. And that will bring the best out of not only you, not only them, but just as women in general. So I'm happy to say this because, of course, there were some times that I felt powerless in this world where we live with, you know, with a lot of manpower in so many different ways. I never felt powerless because of men, never. But sometimes, of course, I doubt myself because you feel it. It's an energy. It's this thing that when you enter a room and there's this male dominant feeling, you feel it. You know it. You look in the eye and you see it. You feel it. But you should not let it take you, take your energy, take your power. And you should not compete with it either. You should just, stay open with it and just let it go, And there's a lot of beautiful voices I've heard tonight, and stories and anecdotes, and that really resonates, but also remind us how important to listen to that and to not ignore what is the truth of being a woman or being a man, but to understand how this situation is not getting its attention. But what matters actually is that we are more into realizing how it's not working. It never worked before, it never did before. That men would take stand, that men would have the first word or the last word. Hasn't worked and will not work in the future. See what's happening, see who's taking the lead, who is deciding. It's always men. There's no space for women. So us women, every woman, all women need to be more aware of this and stand for whatever they're feeling, whatever their rights are. And we have to unite and not conquer each other, but we have to, I know we can do it differently. I know, so just something I wanted to share.
Yes, I 100% agree. Something that came up earlier was, oh, why are you, it's just a joke, why don't you understand it? The problem is with you. I think that's a very, very common for that to happen when you're in a culture of craziness and you are made to feel like the crazy person. Yes. And I would welcome everyone to remind themselves that whenever you find yourself in a situation where you may not be the crazy person, you're maybe in a crazy culture that's making you feel crazy. And you have to figure out what your boundaries are with that. Punch back if you have to, come up with your jokes, or I work in a gay bar where I have to deal with things, I don't know, I guess in the most de-escalatory way, because otherwise it doesn't make stuff sexy. But that's a very specific context that maybe we do not have time to get into.
But thank you for sharing.
Yes, I'm gonna stop here for now. Thank you so much for Andrea.
Thank you.
You deserve to be immune to the Olympic indifference of those that can hurt you.
I deserve to have tears, to have feelings, and to show them.
This was For Real from Frascati in Amsterdam. We are Resonate Productions, and you can find us on Instagram at resonate.productions or on facebook.com/musicaljournalism. See you next time.